Hello, my friends. Today's news is urgent. In my videos, I've mentioned several times that we shouldn't underestimate all the movements and statements made by Lukashenko, especially after the Ukrainian forces' incursion in the Kursk region. This was a serious blow to the egos of both Putin and Lukashenko. Now it seems they've decided to strike back to stop Kyiv. Today, despite the challenges in the Pokrovsk direction, Ukraine is in a fairly advantageous position and has seriously tarnished the reputation of the great Russian army. According to official reports from the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry, based on Ukrainian intelligence, the Belarusian armed forces, under the guise of exercises, are concentrated personnel, equipment, tanks, artillery, MLRS, and air defenses in the Komi region near Ukraine's northern borders. Missionaries from the former Wagner PMC have also been spotted. These exercises near the border and the Chernobyl nuclear power plant pose threats to Ukraine's national security and global security overall. We urge Belarusian officials not to make tragic mistakes for their country under Moscow's pressure and call on the Belarusian military to cease unfriendly actions and withdraw their troops from the Ukrainian border to a distance beyond the range of their existing fire systems. We emphasize that Ukraine has never taken and doesn't intend to take any unfriendly actions against the Belarusian people. We warn that if the border is violated, Ukraine will take all necessary measures for self-defense, and all troop concentrations, objects, and supply routes in Belarus will become legitimate targets for the Ukrainian armed forces. Friends, today we stand on the brink of significant events. If Russia and Belarus have made such a decision, they might invade Ukraine from Belarus again to boost their ratings, stretch the Ukrainian forces, and show that they are supposedly strong and that Kyiv cannot win this war. So today, everyone needs to be prepared for the possibility that the Russians might again attempt a breakthrough into the Kyiv region, just as they did in the early days of the full-scale invasion. Of course, today there are defense lines at the border with Belarus. They do exist, right? We really hope so. But as we can see, the situation at the border is becoming tense. In the Kursk direction, the Ukrainian forces continue to advance gradually. The pace has significantly slowed down. However, yesterday the Ukrainian forces successfully advanced another 1 kilometer and 600 meters and took control of another settlement. Meanwhile, the Russians continue to shell both Ukrainian and Russian territory. But so far, there have been no reports of new changes along the front line overnight. However, Russian war correspondents understand that this is just the beginning and are once again calling for the evacuation of Rilsk and Korenovo. And they believe that these cities will be completely destroyed by the Russian army. In the Kharkiv direction, Russian forces continue their attempts to break through near Gliboke, but the activity here is not the highest across the entire direction. There have been 3 assaults in the past 24 hours with no changes in the situation. In Vovchansk, the fighting also continues, and here their success is on the side of the Ukrainian forces, with the front line remains unchanged. The Russians are unable to achieve the same significant successes in the Kharkiv region as the Ukrainian forces have managed in Kursk. Also, today, as always, we are summarizing the past week. It's reported that along the front line, including the situation at the border, the Ukrainian forces managed to liberate 4.7 square kilometers, while the Russians managed to capture another 67 square kilometers. Unfortunately, these are again very significant losses for Ukraine. Now let's move on to the most difficult direction along the front line, which is the Pokrovsk direction. Here, the Russians conducted 41 assaults in a single day and are actively trying to advance towards the highway. Specifically, they are assaulting Myrolubivka, after which they could move through the fields and completely cut off the highway and reach Novoekonomichne. In addition, the battles for Vozdvizhenka, then Kalynova, and the fields towards Tarasivka are ongoing. Furthermore, there are assaults on Grodivka and Novogrodivka. The situation here is catastrophic. The Russians are advancing meter by meter. According to reports from the Ukrainian forces, they don't even need to heavily shell the cities because there are no significant fortifications. As a result, street fighting is occurring and the Russians are gradually trying to consolidate their positions. Moreover, the Ukrainian forces report that the Russians plan to capture Novogorodivka within the next 2 days. Similarly, assaults on Kalynova and Karlivka continue, but there have been no major changes along the front line in the past day. However, the situation is so critical that further breakthroughs are just a matter of time. Shelling in the areas of Selidove, Ukrainsk, and other settlements also continues. In the direction of Toretsk, offensive actions continue in the areas of Nelipivka, and the shelling of Toretsk and Sherbrinivka doesn't stop. The situation here is also difficult as the Russians are conducting around 20 assaults per day in the area. However, there have been no new changes along the front line here so far. In the direction of Chasiv Yar, after a period of relative calm, the Russians have increased their activity and are trying to break through in all directions. They are assaulting Grigorivka, Kalynivka, the Novy microdistrict, and are attempting to break through near Ivanivske along the road. Similarly, fighting is ongoing south of Diliivka, and offensive actions continue across the fields towards Pretechene. However, so far, the Ukrainian forces have managed to repel all attacks, and the front line hasn't changed in the past day. The Russians' plan here is clear. They want to extend the front line to Pretechene to create a summer encirclement of Chasiv Yar and consequently cut off a road from Kostiantynivka to Chasiv Yar. In the direction of Siversk, the Russians are also trying to achieve new successes. They are actively assaulting Bilogorivka, Spirne, and Vyemka, conducting up to 10 assaults per day, but they haven't achieved any success, and the front line remains unchanged. In the direction of Kreminna, there are ongoing battles for Nevske, Terny, and near Dibrova. But the front line has also remained unchanged over the past day. All attacks are being repelled. In the Svatovo area, Russian forces continue their activity. They are conducting assaults on Stelmachivka and trying to advance southward towards Druzhelyubivka, while also attacking the village of Makiyivka. However, no changes have been recorded in the past day. In the Kupiansk direction, fighting continues for Sinkivka with attempts to break through the fields towards Kivsharivka and Glushkivka. They have only one last barrier to overcome before reaching the water obstacle. They are not sparing their reserves, trying to advance as far as possible. However, the Ukrainian forces have managed to repel all attacks and the front line remains unchanged. In the Kurakhove direction, the situation remains difficult. Russian forces conducted more than 20 assaults over the past day, attempting to fully capture Krasnohorivka, but they have been unsuccessful. The Ukrainian forces are holding onto the outskirts and destroying any Russian troops that manage to break through. There are also ongoing battles near Georgiivka, the village of Kostiantynivka, and Katerinivka. Regarding the Russian claim that they managed to secure the outskirts and raise their flag, the Ukrainian side hasn't confirmed this information yet. It's possible that they have already been driven out, so we are waiting for official information. In the Vuhledar direction, Russian forces continue their attempts to break through to the village of Vodane, as well as assault on Vuhledar itself. However, the Ukrainian forces are effectively repelling them in the fields and not allowing them to enter the city, so the front line remains unchanged while the shelling continues as before. In the Zaporizhia direction, Russian forces are attempting to break through near Novoandriivka and the village of Sherbaki. It's clear that they are unable to regain control over the territory liberated by the Ukrainian forces near Robotine. Therefore, they have decided to try breaking through in another direction, hoping to achieve at least some success. However, there have been no changes over the past day, just like before. In the Kherson direction, only shelling of the right bank continues. The Russians are still using both artillery and FPV drones, but they are not conducting offensive actions. In fact, Russian war correspondents report that things are almost at a standstill. In the Kherson and Zaporizhia directions, the silence continues. There are just the usual skirmishes. In general, it's a stagnation of combat operations, and now there is no talk of crossing the Dnipro anymore. Units and subunits from the Dnipro group are being redeployed to defend the Kursk region according to General Staff directives. The 56th Airborne Assault Regiment of the 7th Airborne Division has already left. Before them, the 810th Separate Marine Brigade left. Right now, the 136th Motor Rifle Brigade, which was operating in the Zaporizhia direction, is being relocated. The 76th Airborne Division is also preparing to leave the Dnipro group. The 104th Airborne Division is next in line. It's evident that the Russians are making serious move in response to the Ukrainian advance into the Kursk region. And now, even Russian propagandists have admitted that there will be no negotiations and Kiev is moving towards victory, trying to destroy Russia by any means necessary.
Но мы не можем не делать выводы из собственных ошибок. Откуда возникало какое-то самоуспокоение? Совсем недавно, что вот-вот, значит, там, понимаете, Киев дрогнет. А вот-вот начнутся какие-то переговоры. Но не будет этих переговоров. Откуда возникало самоуспокоение, что мы обошли Украину по производству дронов? Ну, по количеству, наверное, может быть где-то, а по качеству? Очень большой вопрос. Вот сегодня, например, Латвия пообещала передать украинцам ВСУ еще 2000 с чем-то дронов. Мы когда об этом говорили в этой студии? Когда мы об этом говорили в этой студии? Это же открытая информация. Были ли сделаны выводы не в этой студии, а в других помещениях? Подготовились ли к этому? Я не знаю. У меня иногда есть ощущение, что, знаете, даже вот сегодня, 2 года спустя, не все люди понимают, что против нас идет не просто война, а информационная война.
What do you think about this? What is happening? Please share your thoughts in the comments. And that's all from me. So please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.